A few days ago, I read this tweet by Nawal Ravikant. If you're a high agency person, there's never been a better time to be alive. And that got me thinking, this is such an interesting point. So I thought I'd bring this forth to all of you and together we'll discuss 3 easy ways in which you can become a high agency person yourself. But first, let us understand what a high agency person is. In simple terms, a high agency person is someone who takes initiative, someone who believes in their ability, and someone who doesn't wait around for permission. They just get things done. And these are the people who we often call lucky. He got the opportunity, she was at the right place at the right time. These are the words we use, but in actuality, all they did was be an high agency person and take the initiative. We've all heard the quote, opportunities come to those who wait, right? But did you know that quote is both incomplete and also inaccurate? The full quote is, opportunities come to those who wait, but you also have to make your own. And that is the part we often ignore. But that is also the part that high agency people always focus on. They create their own opportunities. They grab the ones that are there because in today's fast-paced world, opportunities no longer come to those who wait. They'll never come to the people who wait because opportunities are now first come, first serve. The people who grab them first are the ones who take it to the heights. And you have to be one of those people. And to be that, you need to be high agency. You need to have that confidence, that ability, and that drive in you. But what does that drive look like? Here's a very simple example that will help you understand that. 2 men were stranded on an island, an isolated island. There was no one around and they had to seek help. They had no food, they had no clothing, they didn't have any resources. So what did they do? Well, one of them, he went through the forest. He picked out many different logs and sticks, and on the beach, he made a sign called help with it. And what did the second person do? Well, the second person also did the same thing. He went into the forest, he picked up the logs and sticks, but instead of making a sign of help and waiting for the help to come, he built a makeshift raft out of it and he got sailing. He didn't wait for the help. He used whatever resources he had to get back to the mainland and started on that journey again. And that is a perfect example of what a high agency person is. Someone who is resourceful, someone who is confident, and someone who makes the best of what they have instead of complaining about their circumstances or the lack of resources around them. By now you might be thinking, the idea of being a high agency person is great. But how does it translate into the real world? And there's a very simple matrix we can use to understand that. So imagine there are 2 axes. On one axis you put the person's talent and on another you put the person's agency. And that then gives us 4 quadrants. And the first quadrant is people who have low agency and low talent. So these are people who aren't really skilled at anything and they're also not really motivated to do new things or to take initiative. And these people are often then called the cogs in the wheel, or people who are just there to keep the system up and they don't do or aren't really willing to go above and beyond. And we all know people like this, people who just seem okay with everything that's there in their life and they don't want to take any steps to improve. But then comes the second quadrant, and that is low agency but high talent. And by talent, I don't mean birthright skills or skills that you've gained by birth. It's just something that you're really, really good at, something you're exceptional at. But when you pair that exceptional skill with low agency, you get people called frustrated geniuses. So these are people who have a lot to give to the world. They are full of potential, but they just don't have the energy to stick through with one thing or to see things to completion. They're not resilient enough. And so they end up in the land of broken dreams where they're frustrated, where they're like, nothing ever seems to work for me, I'm unlucky, and all of that stuff. They're geniuses, but their potential goes to waste because they're frustrated and they don't have the high agency to take initiative. Then comes the third quadrant, the golden quadrant. High agency and high talent. So these are people who are very exceptional and also have the drive to make things happen. And this is where most of the world's most impactful entrepreneurs lie. From Elon Musk to Bill Gates to Steve Jobs to anyone else who has created a mark on the world, you will see that they not only had exceptional skill, but they also had that drive within themselves to make things happen. They took action, they didn't wait around for anybody else, and that is what sets them apart. And then comes another quadrant, low talent but high agency. And these people are called the go-getters. These are people who can learn quickly, who do their best at their jobs, in their work, and then rise through the ranks with early career experience and a lot of leadership skills. And one of the best examples that I know of this is Shri A.M. Nayak, the former chairman of the L&T Group. He started working in L&T at a junior position. But he had that energy within him. He had that drive within him and he made things happen. He took actions. He changed the way the company worked and eventually he reached the top position and took L&T to new heights. And this is where most of the people are, but they don't realize it. They can learn new skills, they can grow, but you know what the best part is? They can also build that sense of high agency. So no matter which quadrant you find yourself in, know that you can become a go-getter, you can become a change maker by just building that high agency in you. And now we're going to understand the 3 simple ways in which you can do that. The first step is say yes. And one of the best examples I know of this is a creator and entrepreneur I follow called Simon Squibb. If you go and check out his Instagram page, you'll see that he does something really unique. He walks around on the streets of London and he asks people, do you have a dream or what's your dream? And when they tell him their dream, he tries to find resources and asks his following to come up with ideas to make those dreams come true. Is one of the best things that you'll see. And if this opportunity were to come to you, what would you do? Of course, your first reaction is to say yes, right? Your dream is coming true. Someone is helping that come true. And of course, you'd want that to happen. But a lot of times, that does not happen. You'll see that there are some clips where despite getting the opportunity of their lifetimes, people back out. They make an excuse. They say, oh no, this won't work. I can't do this. And they know what they're doing, but still some part within them says, maybe I can't. And they say no to an opportunity of a lifetime. Imagine doing that. Saying no to the very chance that can bring your dreams to life. High agency people don't do that. High agency people take that action. They say yes to even the hardest of opportunities. If this were to come in front of them, they would consider this the best golden opportunity in the world. But even for the opportunities that are slightly less golden, that are more ordinary, they say yes with the same enthusiasm, with the same energy, and they just go at it. They don't wonder about how it will be possible or how will they make it happen or the challenges that they will face. No, none of that stuff comes up in their head. All they're thinking about is, this is my goal and I need to make it happen. They say yes, and then they figure out how to get it done, and that is the attitude you need to build. Start saying yes to the simple things. Start saying yes to that extra project. Start saying yes to your heart and figure out what makes you do something new and just go at it. Doesn't matter if you have to wake up for an extra few hours on some nights. Just try doing that and see how much of a difference it makes. Say yes to your dreams, say yes to your life, and you will become a high agency person. The second step is embrace a growth mindset. And here there's a very fascinating research conducted by Dr. Carol Dweck, and it goes into the depths of what a fixed mindset and a growth mindset really are and the difference that they have. So what Dr. Dweck did was that she took children and she gave them a few tests. And for the children that did well, To half the group, she said, "You know, you're very good at this. Congratulations." For the other half, she said, "You know, you must have practiced really hard and you did very well. Congratulations." Very little difference between the two statements. One appreciated them as a person, the other appreciated their effort. The first one was a fixed mindset that they are like this, they are born like this. But the second one was a growth mindset that they practice this because of which they got here. And do you know how fascinating the results were? When they gave the children another test to choose from, the ones with the fixed mindset chose an easier test so that they wouldn't have to face challenges. But the ones with the growth mindset knew that practice and hard work can make even the hard challenges easy and actually picked up the harder test. And that is what we need in our lives. We need a growth mindset, especially to be a high agency person. When you see opportunities, they're going to be uncertain, they're going to be confusing, they're going to be challenging. And that is why you need to accept and understand this idea that dedication and hard work equals success. Inherent talent is not a predictor for success. And that is a very important lesson. Understand that you have to have this growth mindset in your life, and it's very simple to implement. Every day just ask yourself, what is my goal and what is the one skill I need to learn to grow for that goal? Pick up that skill, and it can be anything. Just practice that, learn that, become a student again, and see how the growth mindset seeps into you. All high agency people are students across their life. They never stop learning and they are always growing. Embrace that attitude and watch just how quickly things change in your life. Now we come to the third and the most important point. Start making independent decisions. Now this can feel tough if you're a student or an employee or someone who's used to getting orders from a higher authority. You can't really do things without someone else's approval. But you have to realize that being a high agency person means doing things without permission. Because if you wait for permission, you're doing just that. You've put up that help sign hoping that someone else's ship will come around, see you, and then take you on board. Life is too short to leave it up to chance. And so that is why you have to take initiative. You have to push yourself behind the boundaries, and you have to be comfortable with making decisions all by yourself without approval. How can you implement this idea in your life? Well, it's very simple. Start with the small steps. Start with the area where you have control in your life. If you're an employee, instead of waiting for your boss to ask for a report that you know they'll eventually need, just make that report beforehand and submit it to them before they even ask you for it. They'll not only appreciate your effort, but they'll also appreciate your drive. And that is what it means to make independent decisions. If you're a student, don't wait around for the teachers to give you a project or to rate your homework or to help you solve a question. Go out there, find the answer yourself, and if needed, go yourself and discuss with your teachers and professors how you can improve, how you can grow, all of that stuff. Make sure you are the one leading the initiative, and it can feel scary at first because opportunities are scary in their nature itself. Nothing is clear. Everything is up to probabilities, but you have to take a bet. You have to take that decision and you have to roll the dice. You have no choice, because if you wait, you'll be left behind. But if you take the initiative and if you give it your all, you can definitely make it to the other side, become successful and become that high agency person. That requires independent decision making. Build that habit starting today. To sum it all up, I'd like to leave you with a very simple message, and that circles back to the tweet we referred to at the start of this video. For high agency people, today is the greatest time to be alive, and that is true. Because the internet and now the world of AI has unlocked countless opportunities for us. 20 years ago itself, we could not have imagined the world where it is today. And now, today, we cannot imagine what the world would be 20 years from now. That's how fast things are changing. And wherever there is change, there is opportunity. Remember this. Wherever there is change, there is opportunity, and this is your chance to make it big in life. Find those opportunities, find things that make your soul grow, find things that really matter to you, and take those actions. Become that high agency person, become that go-getter, and you'll definitely leave your mark on the world. I'd love to know, what are the opportunities you are exploring? What are the things you're thinking of doing? And if I can be of any help to you in that journey, let me know in the comments below. I would be happy to help. Do share this video with other people, with your friends, with your family, so that all of you can grow as well and become high agency people that achieve massive things together. Know that I'm always rooting for you and that I'll always be here, and I'm always there for your success. Thank you very much.